Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Grease gazer herself, Sandy Reevy.
Hi, everybody. That's what I'm looking toward.
It is episode 259, July 10th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have a big day today, starting with Mars ingress Virgo.
A bit of dignity.
And Mercury opposing Pluto.
Watch the long nails.
And Mercury ingress Leo.
Get on stage.
And then later in Friday, Sun sextile Uranus.
Non-traditional.
And then in Talisman Times, Sandy has finished up one with 3 more to discuss. And on the horizon, we have new items on the website ready and waiting for you. And in our house, we want to share a special summer salad recipe.
From Greece.
From Greece. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Hello, Grease Gazer.
I'm looking toward it. In fact, I'm really excited about these fixed stars that we're going to be seeing in our charts.
In our charts and in the sky, which will be really awesome.
It's like the old-fashioned way the astrologers used to do it.
Right.
Look up there. Look
and
above.
Point.
Right. Instead of below.
Right. So, all right, everybody. I want to go direct to all of you listeners. I did receive a feedback from Valerie. She was chatting about her astrology reading. And she says, hi, yes, everything was great. Things are in motion and I'm happy.
Oh.
So
happy.
sharing more of that happiness around in the community.
Hey, it's nice to wake up and say, this is a good day. I am happy.
Right.
Say it every day.
Don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
So let's move into the transits. We have a big day today, Monday, July 10th, starting off with Mars ingress Virgo.
Mars has a bit of dignity in the sign of Virgo. It's, Virgo is the earth mutable sign. Mars likes to speed fast. So Mars really likes to be either in fire sign or in an air sign where things can spread.
Right.
Yet in an earth sign, he has a bit of dignity here. It's more about being with your tribe, about having some activity and some forward motion around being with the people that are, that you're surrounded with, your tribe, your tribal members. So, this is, in Mars and Virgo is action in theory.
Ah.
Right? Okay. We know how, what do they say? Theory and practice.
Theory.
In theory.
Practice. And theory and practice are the same thing. But in practice, they are not. They are very different.
Right. So this is action in theory.
Right. In theory.
It's about maybe planning ahead to do something ahead.
And when you call it a bit of dignity, I think that the innocence that Virgo brings to the table might be rubbing off a little bit on that Mars energy that's a little bit more on the aggressive side. So maybe Mars is kind of softening.
Yeah, and then the dignity, when we do some our accidental dignities or our essential dignities, the Mars here has a bit of essential dignity at this placement in Virgo. So, yeah, it just means being with your tribe, being with people that understand you, that you understand, that, it's kind of like a kumbaya kind of feeling where, you can have some forward movement, but it's not super speedy fast. Mm-hmm. Again, it's in theory.
Right.
Yeah.
And later in the day, Mercury opposing Pluto.
Yeah, watch long nails. This could be obsessive in nature. Anytime we get Pluto involved and this isn't an opposition, long nails long, sharp nails.
They dig in.
They dig in and they hurt. Whether they're yours into someone else or someone else's into your skin. Also pay attention here. What do you think you love? What do you think you love that you need to dig in and create, blood? Do you really feel like you have to be manipulative or obsessive here? So really say what you mean.
And this maybe could
mean what you say. That's another thing. Mean what you say and say what you mean here, because it's about, it's Mercury, the communication planet. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm.
Right. And maybe a little bit of a lesson if Pluto's involved, of learning how to let go of those, let the talons go.
Right. Like you can't control everyone's emotions or feelings or how they feel about you or how you feel about something else. So let that person understand exactly what you mean so that they can either release, let go. You don't have to be mean about it.
Right.
But you have to mean what you say.
Right. So words are powerful here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So Monday, July 10th, Mercury ingress Leo.
Yeah, get on stage.
Maybe a little bit more playful now.
Yeah. Be your fun, dramatic self. Take singing lessons instead of being loud and off key. You may not be that case. You may not care, but we do. We do it if you're off key. So just about, expressing yourself in proud, courageous ways. This is Mercury moving out of the sign of Cancer, where he was moving from, about being maybe a little bit more protective and, homebody a little bit, to more be out there to kick up the heels and to sing loud. Use your voice in a loud, boisterous, fun way.
Get on stage, go to a karaoke bar with some friends. I mean, I like it.
On a Monday. But actually, Mercury will stay here, for 3 weeks.
Okay.
So.
And Friday, July 14th, Sun sextile Uranus.
Non-traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. So be proud you are unpredictable today. Right. So be proud because there's a sextile here. So the sextile says take an opportunity to, you think I'm going to say I'm going to go this way? Oh, guess what? I'm going to go that way. You know,
surprise others.
Surprise people on your personal opinion on doing something that they weren't expecting. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's a sextile. So have it be more, opportunistic. It's not pessimistic here, right? It's more like, you don't think I'm going to go, but let's go, and let's go early. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be in charge here, or you be in charge, or just find
something
a
that's
new
different.
Yeah. Find a new excitement about something that you would normally not agree to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And wow, that's a short week then.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
3 on Monday, 1 on Friday. And any comments about the week? Because it looks like Mercury's kind of going to be doing a little bit of transformation on Monday, July 10th.
Right, because he's making this opposition to Pluto right before he moves into Leo. So it's kind of like this, maybe it's a last minute, wish you could change your mind after you've said something. So just maybe shush.
Right.
Shush. Around Monday afternoon, around 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, because by the time you go to bed that night at around 11 p.m., Mercury moves out of this Cancerian area.
And it might feel like if you didn't mean it before, you might have to be like, ooh, just kidding. I was joking.
Right. I went a little overboard kind of thing. But, again, be a little bit more expressive, though, but maybe be a little bit more playful.
Yeah.
And instead of being riveting, harsh. as it opposes Pluto.
Right.
Like, say what you mean.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so let's move into Talisman Times. You have finished up one, which was Saturday, July 1st, to acquire a favorite pet.
I know what is going on. My wish is granted. I obtained the perfect animal for me and my family. They provide us with wonderful company.
Yeah. And anyone that has had a pet, you know, a family pet or one that you just had a one-on-one connection with when you were an adult, those connections last forever. I mean, I remember my dog back when I was 14, and still to this day, I can get teary-eyed thinking about how wonderful my dog was.
You know, there's, and we have had 2 family, not our family, but my extended family have lost their loving dogs this past weekend. Right. And I don't know, I'm reading the text and crying because I know these dogs. And so, yeah, and it's interesting as how to acquire a new favorite pet, right? Like getting a new one. So I don't know if they're going to hop on the bandwagon and get replace their pet, but maybe one day.
Yeah. And so let's move into the upcoming talismans. The first is Tuesday, July 11th, to grow with and in friendships.
I own a positive attitude when in the presence of my group of friends. This feeling I have continues to flow even when I go through my regular day. Our connection lasts.
Yeah.
Right? Like whether we're planning or talking or reviewing a beautiful, we had some people over here the other night, and it's just like, in fact, that's why we're going to talk about this recipe that we're going to share here in a minute, that we're still giving out recipes from the party, because again, to have this growing in friendship is, it's important. Friends are important right about these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is the moon in Taurus, where she's exalted in the 11th house, making a conjunction with Jupiter in Taurus. So this is all about growing in the current friends you have and adding on to those in your circle.
Yeah. And I like how you end it is our connection lasts. And because it's like whenever you're not around your friends, if you're still smiling or laughing at the jokes that they said, that's what that is. Sometimes it's just those fond memories that you have. So moving on to the next talisman time, which is Wednesday, July 12th, to get out of debt.
My focus is steady and brave. I attend to all important matters where my finances are concerned. I knock down my owed bills with excitement, knowing soon I am financially free. Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, this is with moon making an aspect to Venus, and with the we got the moon in Taurus. Venus is in the 11th house. The moon is over in the 8th house with Jupiter of debt. And so to be paying it down with excitement, right? Like knowing that you're getting an income, but you're also helping your income down the road by paying
freeing
down
yourself up
some bills or situations that have already acquired.
Right. And I think that you need those two things. You need that bravery, because sometimes it can feel like a mountain, like an impossible mountain to climb, but also feeling that excitement ahead of time with every little payment, because it feels like, oh, well, this is never going to happen. Right. But with every little payment, you're taking that next step.
Well, really, and I attend to all important matters where my finances are concerned. In other words, I'm not going out to dinner tonight because I have plenty of food in the house.
Right.
So what's my little wah? I'm going to be happier eating food I already own.
Absolutely.
Right. And I've always said that there's always something.
Always something.
You can make up.
Right. That's why we have cupboards. So the last talisman of this upcoming week is Sunday, July 16th, to expand my social reach.
My words and ideas are spreading far and wide. I am heard, and others are responding in positive ways. Mm-hmm. So this is, we got the moon and Jupiter and Venus they're in a position in the sky where the moon is making some nice aspects to them, to both of these. And here we got the sun in Cancer, we got the moon in Cancer, and the ascendant is Cancer. Although it's a balsamic moon, but we're extending our information
and expanding,
and how we're gathering, we're putting it out there and getting it back.
Right.
Yeah.
As a reminder, the talisman of the month for July is to be fair in all negotiations. That is it has a very special discount and a shipping credit along with it. All you have to do is add it to your cart. Everything will be linked in the show notes. So if any of these talisman you want to take a peek or you want to order them pre-sale, that is a really great way to customize a little bit of the color and be a part of the process when Sandy is hand making the talisman. All right, so let's move on to the horizon, where we have just finished up a couple weeks ago the July forecast and cheat sheet that is ready and waiting for you over at patreon.com, where you can rewatch the recording that Sandy and Susan had. Also, if you are ready for the Big Dipper trial, we welcome you to join. There is a free trial, and that gets you a little bit extra, where you're actually there live for these monthly recordings, and you get to sit in the star seat and ask questions about your personal chart, which is very cool. Mm-hmm. So I also want to mention here that we just added a new item to our website, which is called Bali in a Bottle. It is a perfume roll-on that we took with us from Bali. We went to a big show. We sold out of it instantaneously. And we decided
to place another order.
We decided to place another order and have it shipped across. And we are the only vendors of this Bali in a Bottle perfume in the United States.
Ding, ding, ding.
Isn't that cool?
Right. And oh my goodness, it's beautifully packaged, and
the smell is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So hop on that if you need some summer scent.
Yes, it is a perfect summer scent.
Oh my gosh, it's gardenia, it's
lang
lang,
and it's Balinese flowers that you can't have here.
No,
you know?
And it does really smell like Bali.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to link that in the show notes. That those are again, those perfume roll-ons. You do not need a lot of this perfume.
It's an oil.
It is, it's a strong perfume, and all you have to do is a little tap, and you are going to be smelling wonderfully.
Right. I know somebody that keeps it in their car.
I do too. So let's move on. August 13th, that's coming up in the next month or so. We have our Venus Star Point Talisman Workshop. We've been talking about it here on the podcast, and this is with the Venus Star Point creator herself, Ariel Gutman. She is working with us in tandem to make sure that everyone's reports and everything are all completed, and gives you all of the information you need for this Venus Star Point Talisman Workshop. You can, when you sign up, you get to choose between earrings or a charm, and you also give your birth information so that we can go ahead and start compiling your report and give you this incredible information about what this Venus Star Point is all about.
Is for you, yeah.
Right.
And it helps you set that affirmation as I'm in the ceremony while you're online.
Yes.
With me. Yeah.
So, all right. So moving on, we are doing our last call for the September 7th through the 14th. This is the Amargos Greece Retreat. if you're feeling it, we would love for you to join us. This is a really awesome chance to go and see Greece, but also see Greece as a Grecian would, because we stay at this wonderful luxury resort on an island called Amargos. And I mean, we're hugged by the Aegean Sea. Ooh. We are encapsulated by the Aegean Sea.
And we take a ferry from Athens. That's also included in the cost of the retreat. So
right.
All food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mm-hmm. This is not a time to be on a diet. It is called the Mediterranean diet.
Everyone knows about the Mediterranean diet, and everyone's skinny over there.
See what the Mediterranean diet is and see how that flows with your body.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I would love to transition from here. Of course, if you are interested in joining us for the retreat, there is still time. Go ahead and book your free retreat call with Sandy to answer some questions, or head over to the retreat page that's linked just below the dates of the retreat in the show notes. So let's move into our house, where we have a very special Grecian recipe that we want to share.
Right. And then I'm going to add something at the very end as a surprise to you.
Okay.
But, right. So I had a cookout during the July 4th weekend, and I thought, and I got out my Amargos
recipe book,
Greece cookbook, and then I took the cooking class, and I thought, watermelon salad, and I've made this before from this book last year. So I made this, and it does help to get a really good watermelon. By the way, this does not. You have to make sure you get a good watermelon. So if you get home and you cut the watermelon and tastes bad, go back and get another one. But you put the recipe down here, and it's got feta cheese in it. It has sesame seed in it. It's got spinach in it.
So
there's a little. Okay, go ahead.
If you can get yourself a small seedless watermelon, that's check number 1. 1 pound of feta cheese, one of those really big blocks that you can get. Sometimes it's a specialty store. Sometimes they just have them in those big tubs. 1 cup of spinach, just roughly chop it, throw it in the bowl with that watermelon and the feta cheese. Balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons, 5 tablespoons of olive oil, then a little bit of sea salt, mint leaves, and sesame seeds. And it is delicious.
And you know what? The mint leaves, you cannot let that out.
No,
you have to include that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you get this little touch of mint every once in a while. But really, what? Feta cheese in watermelon with vinegar?
So good. It is so good.
It is so delicious.
Juicy. And it's flavorful. And I think so if anyone has had watermelon and you throw a little bit of salt on it, and I always thought that was the weirdest thing. I was like, gross. And I tried it years and years ago, and I was like, this is the best. It just heightens the flavor. And so with the feta cheese, the sea salt, the balsamic vinegar, and the olive oil in there, oh my goodness. It is. And
it's got the
delicious.
Little crunchy of the sesame seed. Really, it's a surprise.
Right.
It's a surprise to the taste buds.
To the palate. Yes.
And of course I served it cold, right? Because it was hot that day, and this is just such a perfect time of the year.
I think it tastes better that way because it's like crunchier and juicier. And then everyone started asking about that recipe. And so we've been sharing it after that dinner party, and now we're sharing it here on the podcast, because let's get some Grecian watermelon salads out there.
Right. And you can have it daily if you come with us to Greece.
Oh, yes.
So, this is one good fact.
Yes, I'm waiting for it.
One good fact, the Britannica encyclopedias, you never had them when you were young because they stopped printing them, but I did. I had them. And it's just great information. And so I signed up. I am a member of the online encyclopedias. And every day they send me an email with one good fact.
Yeah.
And I'm just opening it now.
Oh, so this is the surprise.
Yes,
so
this is the
here
surprise.
we go. Okay.
One good fact. Exposure to the sun causes the Eiffel Tower to expand one side at a time.
Huh.
Each side expands. As each side expands, it creates an imbalance with the other three sides, causing the tower to bend. As the sun moves, another side of the tower expands, and over the course of a clear day, the Eiffel Tower will move in a 6-inch diameter curve.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's like...
I never knew that.
Wow. That's cool.
Because one of the questions was, what iconic structure does the sun
affect the most?
And I'm thinking it's the Tower of Pisa, right?
Yeah.
And it was the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, on a daily basis. It's
Every
not like,
day.
Just changing the color of, the brick or stone that it's, and I know that the Eiffel Tower is not made of brick or stone, but I'm talking about a monument of some sort.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting. That's quite a big difference.
Isn't that interesting?
6 inches.
6 inches of expandable
swaying,
movement.
basically.
Yeah, from the sun. That's how strong the sun is. Because that's all made out of steel, I suppose. I mean, I was there. I remember.
Were you there when the twilight twinkling lights went on?
No, isn't that at 10 o'clock at night? My friend is there right
something.
now, and she was posting on about that. No, I was on my way to Florence, Italy, and my flight had an 8-hour layover in Paris. And a friend of mine who went to Paris all the time, and he had to work there, he wrote out this itinerary and handed it to me and said, when you get there, go out into the taxi line and wait for someone until you get an English speaking
taxi driver.
So I did, and I waited. I had to let about 10 of them go. And then I got an English speaking taxi driver, and I got in and I handed him this piece of paper, and he drove 1, go do this, 2, go here. And it was this beautiful,
the taxi driver didn't realize he was going to be a tour guide.
and he did say, he goes, oh my gosh, I do this all the time, actually. Taking people on a quick tour in between their layover. And it was about a 3-hour, and he says, here, I'm going to let you out right here, go to the Eiffel Tower, but make sure you go to the right underneath the Eiffel Tower and look straight up, right? Versus oh yeah, that's nice, looking at it at an angle. So he had me do that because I didn't have time to go up. Right, to climb. So I got some pictures there, but, we went to Notre Dame and just really some cool places. So, yeah. Anyway, I've seen the Eiffel Tower, but not during the twinkly lights, or little did I know it was in movement on that sunny day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thanks for the factoid. Love it.
Right. And there's always more coming around the bend here.
Sounds good. Well, today might be a little bit shorter of a podcast, but thank you everybody for listening in this week. It is a pleasure to have you in our community and in our earshot so we can share with you the astrological forecast of the week. So we will see you all next Monday, and hope you have a wonderful week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story